Welcome to the Life of a Dreamer series. I have the lovely Nashey with me. And before I have her introduce herself, I just want to kind of give a little bit of a backstory for some of you who may be viewing this, for some of you where this video may be your first video that you watch. This series was started because I wanted to facilitate a space where I could have conversations with the dreamers that I know in my life. I know that you all are pursuing amazing goals, but those goals still started or birthed out of a dream first, and then now you're on the other side of the dream. So I just wanted to kind of go through a few questions with you. So Nashey, before I get started on the questions, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and just what you do? And yes.
Yes, well, I'm so excited. Thank you, Bree, for considering me as a lovely candidate for this series. I'm really excited for you and proud for you for this. I know we talked about this, so this is great. But my name is Nashey. I work with service-based professionals and organizations where I build top-tier content marketing to help them grow their brand and grow their business.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So I'm just going to jump straight in. Are you pursuing your life's work? Meaning, is this the story you want to leave behind, or does your story, matter to you in general?
That's a really good question. Especially right now, in a different space when it comes to entrepreneurship. Literally yesterday, I had made a post on my business page that I was taking a break, and because it is such a lot that goes on with having your own business and being an entrepreneur. And I know I definitely want to show up in a space where I am being most authentic and most valuable to not only for others, but for my clients and potential clients. So I'm always on the path to understand what season I'm in and how can I better not only serve myself, but serve others. And so taking a step back to really reassess that is truly important, because if you're not pouring into yourself, you cannot pour into others. So just kind of taking that approach to the entrepreneur mindset right now.
Okay.
I hope I answered your question.
You did.
Reel me in if I get too wordy.
No, you did. Thank you. I think you did. And I like that you said you want to make sure that you are being authentic, and then also taking the necessary breaks when you need to take them, because a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, but they don't know what all goes into that. And I know that the path is it can be different from person to person, from industry to industry. Like, you really are creating it yourself. So, so I commend you for knowing when to take a break, So
yes, that's one thing I did learn. And not that I'm taking a break full time from my business. It's just, like I said, just to kind of scale back. Yeah. And now I've really started getting other people to help me, because I do have contracts now where I don't have time to post as much, which is a good thing, but you still feel like you're missing the audience there. So it can just kind of be taxing. So it's good to know where you need to balance.
Okay, got it. Okay, and then if you are the only person in your life pursuing your work, what do you do to stay consistent and keep yourself accountable? Now, if you do have a circle of people who are in the same space as you, how did you cultivate that circle?
I'm loving these questions because that is very important. Honestly, I do not have any contacts directly, but indirectly I do. I've met many great people through social media that are doing the same thing I'm doing and we're aspiring to do. So being open to those virtual connections have been really helpful for me. And I didn't realize how much things change, not only for your mental process, but even your friends and family around you are going to change as well, because you're going to view life a little bit differently, and they're going to view you a little bit differently. So because you're going to have to sacrifice a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of peace of mind sometimes. So those are things to consider, and then cultivating, like you said, friends that esteem those things that you want. So it's still a process to kind of journey through, because you want someone to be there with you, and
Yeah.
to see you rise, from starting from one place to the next. But sometimes God wants you to go on your own, and you have to be open to just being alone for a while until you can build that tribe of people. And that's kind of where I'm at, is just building.
Okay. I hope y'all take away a lot from what Nashey is sharing, because you've said some things that I don't hear people speak about often, because you're really in it, so thank you for sharing that. But now, what do you do to stay consistent and keep yourself accountable?
Yes, that's the question. So what I do is I read. That's been my motto. I actually have my own little acronym. I should have brought it out here, but it's one of my acronyms is about industry. So making sure I'm like up on everything that's happening within the space of social media, branding, marketing, all those different things. Lots of reading, lots of research, and just being able to, at the end of each month, I assess where I started and where I'm at currently. And so having those little meetings, and just also I kind of picked one of kind of a mentor. I do have a mentor. I'll pick her brain just to kind of see, where I'm at, and just what she thinks I should do. So having a mentor is important, and that really helps me stay accountable.
Okay. So, I got it. And I'm over here like, I need to take notes after the interview so that I can do some of the things that you're sharing. But yeah, and before I get to the next question, I also wanted to say thank you for pointing out that when it comes to family, friends, you're changing, and you have to acknowledge that while they might not be, in the same space or even understanding of it, but it's okay. But just know that it can happen, and it's okay. Like, I think so many of us might need to hear that, because it can be difficult to try to articulate, like, why are things different, with whomever. And it's like, oh, because I'm spending my time in a way that they're not, and there's nothing wrong, because like everyone doesn't want to be an entrepreneur, but you're having to consider things a little differently, your time and your resources. So I appreciate you, saying that, and you do it with grace. So
you'd be surprised, especially as creatives. Yeah. We sometimes thrive off of other people's energy, and that companionship. And then when when you start your own business, that's like your baby. Yeah. And if someone is rejecting your baby, or trying to, make you look at things differently because you have this new baby, it will you do have to kind of assess, well, is this relationship really benefiting me, or am I just carrying it with me because it's history, it's familiar? And you do have to stretch yourself to go into new dimensions of your own identity, and that can be very scary.
Yes. Whew. All right. I'm excited. I mean, it is scary, but you're just able to articulate it in such a beautiful way, and I know it's because you have the experience, so you understand. Okay, and then if when you have moments of doubt, what is one practical thing you do to keep going?
Wow. I will say the biggest thing is imposter syndrome. Dealing with that head on, you have to, because that's like a chain reaction. Once you have this, am I really going to do this? Can I do this? You begin to have all these questions. And how I combated that was through prayer, because I had to go to the source of why I was doing it, why I felt so led to go down this path, and to really seek the guidance and counsel that I needed, that nobody around me I'm a first generation entrepreneur. None of my friends are entrepreneurs full time. So having to tap into the main source that's going to really help me get through this, I had to really buckle down and just strip a lot of things away and get to the core of my purpose in this season. And I believe purpose can change just depending on where you are in life. It's not like your one purpose is to do this one thing. Because God is so dimensional. Like, He's not going to make us. He made us in His image. We're not just going to do one thing for the rest of our lives. And so understanding that too allows you to really open your mind to see, okay, where do I want to be? How do I get there? And I know having a strong faith is what has really instilled to this day. Because like I said, I'm in a different season. I'm holding on to hope right now. So having that hope and having that faith has really allowed me to anchor myself and continue to pull myself up on the bootstraps and say, like, I need a break. I need to focus on this. I need to do that. So having faith and believing in yourself and staying positive will be the three things that I would say really help you defeat the doubt.
Okay. Defeat the doubt. I love that. Okay. Thank you, Nashey. I mean, the wisdom, I really appreciate it. And the honesty, you know.
Yeah, it's real. Because it's real out here.
Yeah. So, thank you for all of this that you're giving us, because I know that there are going to be people that hear this and they need to hear it, because there's going to be other first generation entrepreneurs or people that are like, can I go full time? You know? So thank you. And then lastly, we often want to know what's happening next in people's lives. I want to know what's something that you're working on now that you can share with us.
Yes. So I'm currently working with a pretty major contract. I'm going to wait to spill the beans of who it is and what it is. So that's been really keeping me busy too, and helped me with my decision just to kind of scale back from social media. So really just completing that task, as well as just preparing myself to get more people to come on board. So just undergoing now, trying to do an onboarding process to hire another marketing, a sales person, some people to really help me. While I focus on other people's businesses, they can still allow mine to have that brand awareness and brand positioning that I want to have. So really just kind of cultivating a team, a tribe, and still in the midst of that, I am planning to do a couple more events. So really just getting into that lane of more in-person network marketing, because that's really important. And since the world has opened up again, people are more excited to network, because social media is great, but it is really good to build relationships in person. So those are my, for now, upcoming adventures I'm doing right now. So yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing and giving us a little insight into what's happening for you, and also giving us some direction. Like you said, in-person networking is very important. I think, that gets lost because we are because of social media and all that stuff. But I think I'm glad that you touched on that, because it is important, and you are an expert. So if we're going to listen to anybody, we're going to listen to you. So,
thank you.
Thank you for just everything you shared in this short time. I'm really, really excited for this interview to premiere. And when it does, I will share where everyone can find you or get in contact with you if they have inquiries about your services, how to work with you, just different things. And if a position is still open on your team, and there's someone who is qualified that you might want to speak to, that they'll have your information as well. So I really just appreciate you saying yes to doing the interview, because I knew that it would be filled with so much insight, wisdom, all of that stuff that we all need to hear. And normally, you would charge for this, and you gave it to us just a little bit for free. So I appreciate it, Nashey. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me. And this is where it starts. I mean, this series is a prime example that, you had an idea, you talked about it, and now you are manifesting it, doing it. And I know many people are going to be blessed and just really to have a chance to know that they can do it too. Just start. All you have to do is just start. And even if that's just writing down the name of the business, writing down your slogan or the colors, the look, whatever that might be, just start there. And then just take one day at a time.
Thank you. Y'all hear? So when y'all watch this, I'm just saying, take notes. I might.
Well, how I walked into being an entrepreneur was really by faith. I literally left a job of 7 years and I moved to Houston from Dallas, Texas. And I started working in corporate, extended my corporate career. And I still would do freelance marketing and PR on the side, which hence how we kind of met. And in 2020, I was like, I'm going to start my business. I'm not going to wait anymore. When I tell you the pressure, and that's another thing, you'll feel it. Like sometimes God will put just such this amount of pressure of, if you don't do this, you're not going to be able to go to sleep. You're not going to be able to think. It's just something that just happens to your mind and body and spirit when it's time to birth this dream. So that was happening. I was ready to start. Wrote up my 2 weeks notice, was about to give it to them on the 16th of March. But the 15th of March was actually my last day in the office due to COVID was happening. We didn't know what was going on. And as fate would have it, I was actually laid off due to staff reductions for COVID. And it was a bittersweet moment for me because I was being let go, but God was releasing me to do what I needed to do, which was fully launch my business. And I did what I had to do. And got everything legit because in order to have a business, you do have to have an LLC, EIN. So those are important things to have. Did all that stuff and just been rocking and rolling ever since, just stepping out on faith and a scripture that kept me going and going through that whole process is 2 Chronicles 15:7. But as for you, be strong. Do not give up, for your works will be rewarded. And that's when I knew, like, okay, I'm not going to give up. My work will be rewarded. And the clients will just come in. Don't know how. It was just all God. So don't always wonder how you're going to do things. You have to have this articulate plan. It is good to have a business plan, but just leave yourself open to chance. Leave yourself open to fate, and things will fall through.
Oh my God. What a testimony. Thank you. I don't even, yeah. You are, thank you. Thank you for sharing because I needed to hear it. I mean, I know that this is an interview series, but I needed it. And I don't think I didn't know all of that about your story. I knew that you moved here, and I knew that you started a business, but I didn't know how, like, the path to
get and I haven't really shared that as much, but I feel like as I'm getting more comfortable with just where I'm at, and really being able to articulate it's freeing, not only for me but just for others. Like, it wasn't something where I just had this wad of money and I was like, let me start this business. I was working corporate full time and doing a side hustle. And I literally was willing to let all of that go because I had so much faith that, God, you're going to bless this and I'm going to do it. And he does, and he will. Now, don't get me wrong. You will be tested and you will be, he does, he'll bless you with it, but there are different pressing moments that you have to kind of go through. But if you lean on him, I promise you, you will never fail.
my God. I didn't know I was going to get here. Thank you. I know you're not just, I mean, y'all are listening too, but this was for me in this moment.
Yeah,
So
it works like corporate job. I mean, I literally, and I'll show you later, I don't have it with me, but I created an exit plan for me to lead up to that moment for me to give my 2 weeks notice in March. Like, I was about it. I was like, look, I'm going to do it. Let's go. And I'm telling you, write your vision. That's what it says in the word as well. Write the vision and make it plain.
yes.
I'm a living witness that when you do that, it will come to pass. It will. Okay, thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, bye.